This is why it makes no sense for Muslims to argue that our Bible is corrupted.
The Quran nowhere criticizes our scriptures. There are a couple verses they point to that aren't about our scriptures being corrupted, but you can see how they're like interpreting it that way. Like it'll say, and they distort their scriptures and so on. If you actually read what this stuff means, it's we distort our scriptures with our speech. Because back then it's understood, hey, Jews have their book and it's in Hebrew, and Christians have their book, but it's in a couple different languages by the time you get to Islam, but not in Arabic. And so if you wanted to know from a Jew what the Torah says, you had to ask a Jew. How do you know if that Jew's telling you the truth? You don't. You can't verify. You can't verify. You can't read his book. You don't speak Hebrew. You don't speak the language necessary to understand. And so the accusation when they would have a disagreement is these people are misrepresenting their scriptures. They're distorting it. And it became, you just can't trust them. And by the way, according to the Quran, the actual position of the Quran is Allah has sent prophets into all the world. Every nation has had its prophet. Everyone had their revelations in their language. The last people to get their revelation were the Arabs. So it's just like Allah sending prophets over time to different groups and stuff. And everyone on the planet had their revelation except the Arabs at that time. And that's why Muhammad is the final prophet. He's the seal of the prophets. The Arabs were just the last to get their guy. And now everyone has their guy. Everyone on the planet has their prophet and their revelation. And the point of that specifically was, if you don't have something in your language that you can read and understand for yourself, you're taking someone else's word for it. How do you know you're getting someone honest? How do you know you're getting someone who's not twisting and distorting your scriptures? You need it in your own language. There are even parts of the Quran, Surah 5, verse 43. Some Jews come to Muhammad to settle a dispute because they didn't want to judge by the Torah because the penalty was stoning. And they try to avoid it. So they come to Muhammad and say, hey, what are we going to do about this? And Allah's response is Surah 5, verse 43. He says, why are Jews coming to you when they have the Torah? Now think about that. Why are they coming to you, Muhammad, when they've got the Torah? They've got their book. Why would they come to you? You've got the book for the Arabs. And just a few verses later, Christians are told to judge by the gospel. And that's the attitude of the Quran. It's everyone has their revelation in their language. You have to follow what's revealed in your language.
You see, that's why it makes no sense for Muslims to argue that our Bible is corrupted. But why do they do that? Because if we do follow what our gospel says, Islam is false because it contradicts our scripture. So they resort to saying the Bible is corrupted, but the Quran never says that.